Hi everyone, it's Matt here again. I'm doing a little follow-up video to the SMP video I did in August last year. We've had quite a lot of people really asking me questions, comments on the video, quite a high volume of personal direct messages on social media, which is completely fine because I know not everyone wants to talk about hairlines and things like that in public, so it can be quite daunting, so it's nice to speak to someone one-on-one, especially if it's someone that's gone through the same as yourself, and also someone that has had something done that you're considering, and someone that's got no kind of link to a business or anything like that. So, you know, I'm not trying to direct anyone to get anything done or go to a specific company. This video is purely just to help you guys out. So just to recap, August 2021 I had the SMP done over 3 sessions, and then I had a little top-up session just after it, just to adjust a couple of bits on the sides here, just that I wasn't completely happy with. There was no qualms, it was sorted out straight away and no issues at all. One thing that I did find is that it was kind of very dark at first, so a lot of people could notice that there was something different about me, but they couldn't figure out what it was, and it was more down to the fact that the top of my head was a lot darker than it had been previously, and maybe, just maybe slightly too dark because it was quite fresh and I was told it was going to fade, which it did, and now it's quite consistent, which I'll show you. From the side to the top. So just to give you a bit of a clue, my hair kind of stops growing around where my hand is here and here, and then it's just quite thin and not, I can feel it because when I rub it with my fingers I can feel like the stubbliness, but really sections here and up here, and especially in the centre, you know, it's not very thick, so it looks very uneven when I let my hair grow out, should we say. So I'm really happy with it right now. So like my existing hair that does still grow, you know, it's still quite thick and it grows quite fast. So I think really, you know, having this done, it's taken away that worry that I have these patches and look all just uneven really, so it's not really an issue now for me. It's really strange because it's like I've got this ink on my head, and for some reason it kind of feels like I've got my own hair there, but I've taken ownership and I've chosen not to have it grow out. That's what it gives the impression of. It's the illusion of almost you're taking the power back, without sounding cheesy, but I always do that anyway with things in terms of I'm usually the first person to make the bald joke. You know, I want to take ownership of my head being the subject of the joke. So and once I've made that joke, no one else really makes that joke. I've done it, you know, and there's not really many bald jokes out there, and they get pretty boring after a while. So once you've made the initial comment, right, move on to the next. You know, no one's too worried. I think as much as it would be nice to have a full kind of head of hair sometimes, maybe not in the summer, I'm not too bothered. I quite like it as it is right now. You know, I'm quite happy with it. I think if I was living somewhere probably a little bit warmer than England, I would have it like this even if I could grow long hair. So I think it bothered me more when I was younger, you know, being 22 and then started noticing a receding hairline and then starting to get a little bit thinner as time went on. That's something that bothers you quite a lot when you're younger. It may bother you now as you're older, but it doesn't bother me as much, and maybe it's because I'm 36 and I'm on the countdown to 40, and it's kind of more accepted that you will lose some or all your hair at some point in your lifetime. So I'm not too bothered about it now, but I just didn't want to be the young guy that was there with no hair, you know. But like I said, maybe it's the SMP that's helped, but I'm quite happy exactly as I am right now, in terms of my hairstyle, obviously, you know. But yeah, like I said, overall, as I mentioned in the video a year ago, I'm still really happy with the results. I've been told that it will fade over time, and you know, I can confirm that when that time comes, whether it's at some point in the next 3 to 6 years, I will go back and have it topped up again, because I like it and I'm happy with it. Unless of course the day comes where they finally, you know, come through on the promise that they're trying to clone hairs, because obviously when people go for hair transplants, they have hairs removed from the back of the head, sometimes from like the beard and the chest, and they have them put on the front there, so you're moving some turf from the back garden to the front garden, but they never normally have enough to make it have that kind of thick density. Some of the hair can die off afterwards as well, and you still get people having to buy the kind of pepper pot fibres that they fuse themselves to your hair, which they're a nightmare if they get wet or in the rain and things like that. So if that makes you happy, then cool, but it's not something that I want really. I don't want to have, you know, an operation that's going to potentially just take me back to square one really. So yeah, you know, this is the much easier option for myself. My routine, you know, in general is no different. I still shave my head every 1 to 2 days, which is a personal preference thing. I know some people, friends and things like that they shave their head every kind of 3 to 5 days, you know. It's just kind of what you want really. I don't like it when it starts growing out and you kind of look a little bit like Friar Tuck almost, you know. It's just not for me. But like I said, my hair grows quite fast, so it's just it's a personal preference thing. I still use the same trimmers and things that I used a year ago. They're still going strong. I'll put links in the description if you want to check those out, but I still use the same skull shaver, the same beard trimmer, which I've not used this morning, so I got a little bit homeless. And you know, because my hair does grow fast where it still grows, if I'm going out early in the morning and I need to probably go out till maybe late evening or even the next day, I sometimes will use a razor for a wet shave, and it just kind of buys you that bit more time before it starts growing out and looking uneven. That's the only kind of real downside to SMP really. It's that you can only notice it once your own hair starts growing through and it's not growing through all over. The only other thing I could probably think of is, which it doesn't kind of fit everyone because not everyone's doing the same as me, but when you're on a stage or you've got bright spotlights above your head and things like that, I've been doing some solo and like acoustic shows lately where I've not been wearing my usual stuff that I would wear when I'm in the band, and it kind of, you know, the light bouncing off of bare skin, it doesn't show up as well then, the SMP, so it's not quite as obvious that it's there. So, you know, but again, you know, it's not a real worry. I mean, I still kind of keep the hat things going on when I'm at the band because it's just part of the whole image thing, I suppose, so I'm not too worried about that really. It's not the end of the world, but it does lend itself quite well to kind of natural lighting and ambient lighting. You know, it looks really good and ridiculously realistic when if you're in some kind of like trendy wine bar and they've got all ambient lighting. There isn't a chance in hell anyone's going to guess that you've had SMP, but it's not something that I hide, obviously, because I make these videos. Again, like I say, I'm not gaining anything from making these videos. I'm just trying to pass on a bit of my experience of this whole situation to some people who are just starting their experience of it. I wish there was more videos like this really when I was needing that kind of reassurance or a bit of advice, and I will continue to do them just if you need me to, so just let me know. But no, I've only had 2 people that have actually guessed that I've had SMP done, people that I didn't know, one of which was a barber when I was obviously in a barber with somebody else, and he was having his beard trimmed, and the guy asked me if I wanted my beard trimming, and I said no, and he came and had a look at my beard for some reason and got really close to my head and then asked me, he said, "You had a hair tattoo?" And I said yeah. So you know, he looks at a lot of heads all day, and there was very, very bright lights in there, so he guessed it. We got married in November 2021, so you know, she didn't run away, which is the main reason why I had this done. And we went for a bit of a kind of spa / pamper session thing going on before we went, and there was a lady who was very, very close to the top of my head at one point, and she could see, and she just asked the question. It was almost like she was asking like she felt she was rude to ask, but you know, I'm not shy about it, I'm not too worried really, so I had that done. And it was more really for my confidence, really, for the day of the wedding. Everyone's going to be looking at me and all that jazz. Well, most people are going to be looking at Libby, really. They noticed me because I'm at the side of her. So it did the trick, you know, it got me through. It was a bit of a strange time really for us. My dad passed away a month before the wedding, so caught up in all that, and weddings are quite stressful anyway, and you know, trying to focus getting through what's kind of a strict schedule really, throughout the day with your friends and family and everyone chatting to you and all these different people. So the SMP was the last thing on my mind really. I kind of forgot all about it really. And I know a lot of people probably think I'm talking rubbish when I say that I'm not that confident because I run around stages and I shout and jump about and tell audiences what to do and things like that. Well, like most people really, we've all got our kind of, you know, personal insecurities and you know, doubts about our own abilities and things like that. There's a lot of things that I would like to be better at. There's a lot of things I'd like to change about the way that I look, but it's just one of those things, you know. Some of those things that I do, you know, I'd like to change in terms of music and writing. I wish I was better at those really, but you know, we just get by and we do what we do because we enjoy it. So, but you know, little things like SMP, it's helped me out massively. It's one less thing to worry about. I know that it can be hard for a lot of people to accept that your image is changing as you get older, you know. Things start going south, people go grey, people lose their hair, people find it hard to keep weight off or put weight on, you know, whatever it may be. We all go through these things, but you know, like I said, I'll keep making videos like this if it's going to help people out. You know, hopefully it's useful to somebody. You know, I'm quite lucky really. I've got a very supportive wife and friends and family. They're always around if I've got any kind of struggles or worries. And really, you know, images, as much as it's something that can bother you, and it does bother me, it's not something that completely takes over my life. You know, I've got other things that I want to achieve. I've got other obstacles to face really, and image is just something that it's not something that's worrying me as much as it did when I was younger. I don't know if that's a common thing or not, but yeah, I feel like I can kind of move forward since having this done really. The only reason I'm really revisiting this is because I've been asked to by a lot of people. Hopefully it has been helpful that I'm making these videos. And I'll just obviously continue focusing on the music and the writing and the other things that I've got going on at the moment. Shameless plug right now, if you do want to look at any of the things that I've written book-wise, I'll put some links in the description for you. And I have acquired some extra hair this year in the shape of this little boy here called Otis. We got him in January, and because I'm not really spending money on things for image or blah 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 and worrying about too much, we can devote a bit of time to this little fluff ball. So, you know, got a lot going on right now, working on another book, got another album that's nearly finished with the band, got a new project on the theatre circuit called Rock Set UK. I'll be doing that with some very fine hand-picked musicians. The guys in FAHRAN, we're going to be very, very busy, and we've got this little boy. Built a recording studio recently, which we'll be showing you on a video quite soon. But this guy's going to be 1 in November, and hopefully this video has been some use to you. And I'm going to take him for a little wander now, because as much as he yawns, he wants to just run around all the time. So I'm going to go for a little walk now with Otis. But thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it's been helpful, and we'll see you next time.